But
Sure. You think Wayne Dyer? Yes.
my experience with Wayne Dyer is he makes people feel good about themselves for an hour, like Chinese food. My vision for myself is to make you feel a little uncomfortable with who you are, but still feel good about where you're going to be. Then we're going to have a conversation. Visioning, I've got one of my kids on the stage. And we're talking about what it was like to grow up in our house. How did we name our emotions? How did we take care of and trust each other? How did we take the steps to be sure that we were heard? And how do we know that we could just, if it didn't work out today, we would still love each other tomorrow? I think that's hard. But I believe that my way of being was we did specific action plans. We did specific things. You get to do this. I'm going to do this thing. And so there was a deliverable.
So what was an example? Give me an example of an action plan. The specific action plan that I could use in my daily life.
What comes up for me is I remember a conversation Jake had with me. He said, Dad, I hate social studies and I promise never to be mad at you if someday somebody asks me a question about Magellan and I don't know the answer. I will not say, I wish I'd done this. I said, what I would like you to do, I would like you to go and just play this game out because there's other things you're going to get from playing this game out. I know that that's not interesting. I get it. I get it. I would teach all of history in a pamphlet, but history doesn't really pull me very hard. Biographies do, but history doesn't. Mm-hmm. So the idea that you spend a whole year memorizing 100 dates, ick. But my promise to you is that it's going to get you to something else. It's going to allow you to be in a room full of people who are as interested in you in life as you are. And if you skip this and you play it small, you will not be in that room. And the only thing that matters is that room. Getting in the room with the people that care deeply about life.
So take every experience you're saying and play it like it's going to make your life. You can use it to make your life expand.
I tell people, I've never had a bad day parenting. And I honestly never had a bad day in class. I was very lucky because I loved class. I mean, and I was also good at it, right? I knew what the rules were. I knew what made teachers smile. So I got to get things. But one of the things I visualized, and I don't think I knew it, I don't think I realized how powerful it was until it was like long past. Most people are going to bail out.
Of what?
Of life. They're going to bail out. They're going to take a small space in a small road in a small car going a low miles an hour. And
so your goal of the TED Talks is to get people not to bail out?
My goal in the TED Talks is to get every human being in that room to move over one seat and see their life just a little different.
Okay.
If every person in the room moved over one seat and just saw their life a little differently. One of the things that I believe, and I did it a little bit, and I would do it so much more now, when you go back to a house of origin that isn't working for you, sit in a new seat. Sit in your sister's seat. Sit in your dad's seat. You don't like the house of origin? You don't like the way that your family treats you? Sit in a different seat at Thanksgiving. There will be a flurry of, oh my God, what? But what happens when we go back into a space we don't like? We sit down in our old seats and the same jokes are told and the same attitude is had. And if you were dismissed as a kid, you were still ignored. And if you had to be the center of attention, you still got to take over everything. And that was fine when you were 11. It's not fair when you're 30. And if you don't like that experience, change it. Don't skip it. Most people skip it. They're like, I'm not going home for Thanksgiving. Those people are assholes. No, go home. Sit in a new seat. And just sit there. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just sit in the new seat. Wait for the carrots.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you want to empower your parenting techniques, empower your children and the people around you. Even when you teach, you do your Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, CU,
Yeah.
ethics games.
Ethics.
So it's to empower everyone around you to step outside the zone or to become a better person, to change what you don't like. Am I hearing you correctly?
So my favorite people are change agents. I'm a change agent.
Mm-hmm.
People's lives will not be the same after they know me. They won't. But I think I can take a poll. Right? I can take a poll. And, some would say, yes, worse, thank you. That didn't work for me. But most would say, better. Better because I taught them anything? No. Better because I asked them to tell me what they really cared about. And better because I will sit down with you and have a conversation. What is in your way? Why do you believe that? And what do you care what other people think? Why do you honestly care what other people think? I spent forever.
How did you get to this place?
I spent forever thinking and caring about what other people think.
Yeah, so how did you get to this place? Because for you to teach people, how did you get here?
Right.
That's a good way to teach
Well,
people.
one thing that happened for me, I had the very good fortune of recognizing that I hated the way my life was going. And
Okay.
a lot of times people hate the way their life's going, but they don't recognize that they hate it.
Right. Or they recognize they hate it, but they don't know how to change it.
Okay, but that's two different things. So let's
Okay.
break that down into small pieces. So I've got people who, in their core life, they don't like how their life is going.
Mm-hmm.
They hate their relationship with their family, they hate their relationship with their work, whatever. They really they don't like it, but they don't recognize that it's a mess. They just think it's life. It's just like bad luck. Like, what can you do? Like, you can't control any of this stuff. It's just, I made a few decisions and now I'm stuck. And so part of the value of a change agent, and all of us know change agents, some of them are positive believers and some of them are just assholes. But they're change agents because they cause you to look at everything differently.
Mm-hmm.
You just go, oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought of that. And so if you're stuck in a space and you don't know why, that's one of the most difficult parts of coaching somebody, is when they don't even know that they're really unhappy. They think they're actually stuck and that's just life. So they don't see it as I'm unhappy, I'd like to change. They see it as I'm stuck and I can't shift. I think that's one of the hardest parts of coaching, is to alert people that they could actually shift something, they could change something, they could leave their job, they could leave their spouse, they could leave their family of origin's way of treating them, but not have to quit your family. A different thing is when you know you want to change and you're just not sure how. That's a different conversation. That's actually a much more active and positive conversation, because it's like, I know I'm done. I know I'm part of the problem. I see myself in that space. I see that I'm doing things over and over again. Every Thanksgiving, I still tease my little sister and she still feels bad about herself. And every Thanksgiving, my dad still treats me like I'm just a kid, and I still let him joke about that, and I've never said anything. I feel so stuck, but I know I want that to be different. That is a hugely fertile opportunity, because all you have to do is sit in a different chair. All you have to do is sit for 5 seconds longer than you've ever sat with an open question. That is, when you react, when you go into your old chair and you react the same way, you actually invite everybody to do the exact same thing they've done since you were 7. And your Thanksgiving will be the same, and you'll hate your family and you can't understand why you get together. Just step up and sit in the new chair and wait 5 longer seconds than you've ever waited before to say anything, to have any reaction. Don't laugh. Don't ask a question. Don't get mad. Don't do anything for 5 more seconds. You sit in a new chair, wait 5 more seconds. Your whole life will change.
So how would you sum up what you've just said?
One of the biggest difficulties in life is figuring out, when you're unhappy with your lot, whether you can do anything about it. If you feel powerless and you feel like there's nothing can be done, that is one of the most difficult coaching moments, because you're not clear that you can even ask for help. You're not clear any change could possibly happen. I'm still working on that process of how to help people see that they could shift. Once you realize that you don't like what you have and that you have some control over it, typically you'll learn this by stopping doing things. You don't play anymore, but you're unhappy about that. Like, I'm not even seeing my dad. I'm not seeing my mom. I'm not seeing my kids. I'm not interacting with my best friend. But I am done. I am done with my old way of being. That is great. That's how you know that you are willing to change, is that you're willing to quit. My invitation is don't quit. How do you get back in? Let's talk a little bit about how you get back in. My thought about getting back in is shifting your way of being and just inviting people to treat you differently. One of the most powerful things in the world is the ask. Just ask. Do you mind if I ask you why you think that we've struggled for the last 10 years? Because I know there was a time when we were in high school that we literally breathed the same air. We loved each other and we would do anything for each other. And it seems to me like something shifted on that. And I miss that time a lot. And I'm curious what you think happened. I mean, I have a point of view, but I'd like to hear yours. So, summing up, when you're unhappy but you don't quite know it, one of the most difficult change possibilities of all, because you're not clear. You're not clear how unhappy you are. You think you're stuck and you can't do anything about it. Once you want to quit doing the way you used to do it, and you're sad about that, that's the most fertile opportunity for change. You know something needs to shift, and you know you can't play the old way. There's 100 things that can be done to shift that. And then, of course, the easiest part is you're making the progress and you're hitting against somebody who isn't playing. That's painful, it's hurtful. You've made the change, your way of being is different, you're open, you're not as attached, you would like to shift the relationship, you're asking questions, you're not demanding things, and they don't want to change. My invitation to you is to be patient. That as soon as they know that it's safe, to just be neutral. They don't have to impress you, they don't have to change, they just need to be neutral in the space. They will move towards you, and then you can have the conversation. But that is, I know that's another painful piece of this, is when you think you're about to change. You've shifted in your heart, and they can't seem to shift. And
that will be for your next discussion.
Right.
Thank you.